The intricate tapestry of geopolitical tensions between the Western world under the leadership of the United States and Russia has reached a level of complexity and significance that surpasses mere diplomatic disputes. These tensions extend their influence deep into the global economy and financial stability. Arthur Hayes, a financial expert and former BitMEX CEO, and I aim to shed light on these multifaceted issues. In this discussion, I delve into the geopolitical tensions between the West and Russia, their historical foundations, and their implications for a potential financial crisis with global repercussions. Disclaimer: this is an original AI summary of the Bilyeu podcast. All of the content here, including the voices, were AI generated from the original episode. The ideological chasm that separates the Western world, with a particular emphasis on the United States, from Russia, has its origins in the depths of history. The Cold War era witnessed a profound ideological struggle between communism and capitalism, defining the global geopolitical landscape. The United States, as the vanguard of the Western Bloc, ardently resisted the expansionist ideals of the Soviet Union and sought to curb the spread of communism. This deep-seated opposition to communism, fueled by the fear of a worldwide workers' revolution, forms the backdrop for understanding the contemporary stance of the West towards Russia. This historical context serves to explain the Western world's resistance to Russia's ideology, resulting in various manifestations such as economic sanctions and diplomatic disputes. The strategy employed by the Western Bloc, led by the United States, has evolved over time. The disintegration of the Soviet Union offered an opportunity to potentially rebuild Russia as an ally and trading partner. However, rather than pursuing this path, the United States and its allies encouraged the rise of oligarchs who gained control of pivotal industries, including oil and gas, inadvertently sowing the seeds of distrust between Russia and the West. The complex interplay between Russia and the West has escalated into a direct military conflict between Russia and Ukraine. While direct Western involvement may be absent, there is indirect support for Ukraine in its confrontation with Russia. The war in Ukraine carries significant geopolitical and economic consequences. Primarily, it has spurred inflation. Warfare consumes substantial resources and acts as a catalyst for inflation. In this context, inflation marks the first economic ramification of geopolitical tensions on the global stage. Secondary to this, central banks around the world are striving to combat inflation by elevating interest rates. This decision to raise interest rates carries broad-ranging implications, including the potential insolvency of the banking system, particularly for those institutions holding long-term bonds, which lose value as interest rates increase. The pivot of these geopolitical tensions centers on the importance of energy resources. The foundation of human civilization lies in harnessing energy generated by the sun and the earth to propel economic activities. Historically, low energy prices have been inextricably linked to prosperity, and Russia, as a key exporter of energy resources, including oil, natural gas, metals, and food, underscores this significance. The decision of the Western world to isolate Russia has led to escalating energy prices, subsequently triggering global inflation. This inflation, in turn, poses a formidable challenge to the stability of the global financial system. The financial crisis does not originate solely from money printing. It is a complex interplay of several factors. The roots of the crisis trace back to commitments made by the United States government to the baby boomer generation. Promises of healthcare coverage, access to energy resources, and various benefits have strained the financial stability of the system. Soaring healthcare costs, coupled with a massive defense budget and the necessity of printing money to fulfill these obligations, have contributed to the crisis. Additionally, factors such as declining population growth and inflation induced by wars and challenges to the US-dominated rules-based order exacerbate the problem. Money printing leads to inflation when it is not met with a corresponding increase in the supply of goods and services. As the money supply expands, prices for available goods and services surge, giving rise to inflation. Within this context, the financial system represents the energy necessary for global civilization to function, particularly the role of hydrocarbons like oil. In the absence of significant progress in oil extraction, or the widespread adoption of alternative energy sources, the world remains heavily reliant on traditional energy sources. Amidst the backdrop of geopolitical tensions and economic complexities, I underscore the critical importance of diversifying one's investment portfolio. Diversification emerges as a key strategy for risk management, particularly in uncertain economic landscapes. My recommendation is to invest in both high-risk assets, such as cryptocurrencies and tech stocks, and low-risk assets like money market funds or short-term government bonds. I advocate for a barbell strategy as a structural approach to managing one's portfolio. This strategy involves investing in assets characterized by high volatility in conjunction with low-risk assets. The aim is to balance the potential for substantial gains in high-risk assets while simultaneously providing a stabilizing force in the form of low-risk assets capable of covering expenses and preserving financial stability. The core idea revolves around achieving equilibrium between risk and safety. This equilibrium ensures that even in the face of substantial losses in high-risk assets, one's financial position remains secure. In selecting high-volatility assets, it is crucial to place emphasis on personal preference, whether it is cryptocurrencies, tech stocks, or any other investment that one is familiar with and believes in. The key lies in comprehending the chosen high-risk asset. This comprehension serves as a risk mitigation strategy when navigating such investments. I caution against attempting to time the market. Predicting market fluctuations presents a formidable challenge, since it is nearly impossible to predict the precise moment when panics or government interventions will occur. Rather than attempting to time the market, my recommendation is to remain informed about shifts in monetary policies and adjust your portfolio in response to these changes. In summary, I encourage diversification as a vital strategy for risk management. The barbell approach, wherein high-risk and low-risk assets coexist to balance potential gains and financial stability, serves as a prudent approach. High-risk investments should align with personal understanding and preference. Instead of attempting to time the market, vigilance and adaptability in response to shifts in monetary policy are preferred. I present a thought-provoking perspective on the challenges posed by energy and inflation in our contemporary world. I underscore the necessity of understanding the intricate connection between energy production and inflation, highlighting the historical correlation between cheap energy prices and economic prosperity. Drawing a parallel, I liken the current situation to the choices made regarding the commercialization of wind and solar energy over nuclear power. The contemporary annual growth rate of global energy production no longer mirrors the exponential increase of the past, reminiscent of the concept of peak oil. The dependence on shale, which depletes rapidly, casts shadows on the availability of new energy sources and the resultant inflationary pressures that could influence the cost of goods. This is because every product is inherently linked to energy production. I further stress the critical interconnection between energy production and inflation and its potential impact on purchasing power. Moreover, I delve into the growing burden of debt and the necessity to continue funding healthcare and access to oil, which in turn requires further money printing. The concept of a bank term funding program, BTFP, which I liken to stealth money printing akin to quantitative easing, introduces an additional layer of complexity in the financial landscape. I touch upon the risks associated with such monetary practices and their potential consequences. In essence, I offer a comprehensive view of the energy inflation nexus and its implications for the global economy. I emphasize the imperative for individuals and investors to comprehend these dynamics and adjust their financial strategies accordingly. The intricate dance of geopolitical tensions between the Western world and Russia, coupled with the challenges pertaining to energy production and inflation, weaves a complex and interrelated narrative. This narrative bears profound implications for the global economy and financial stability. In my capacity, I illuminate these intricacies, providing valuable guidance for investors and individuals alike. Thank you for listening to this PodFast and my conversation with Bilyeu. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. See you next time.